Hi everyone, it's me, Annisha from Pi Radio, Manchester's #1 youth-led radio station. Today I'm joined by one of the driving forces behind hip-hop in the Middle East. It's Big Hass. Now, Big Hass has his own radio show in Saudi Arabia, which is one of the first and still is one of the only radio stations to broadcast hip-hop music. He also helped to curate Fire in the Booth's UAE Cypher, where we saw 5 artists from Dubai freestyle. If you haven't checked that out already, I suggest you do. I also interviewed 2 of the artists, so if you've not looked at that, I suggest you look at that. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up and here's Big Hass.
Okay, so Big Hass, please could you tell us about your background and how you got into the music industry?
First of all, shout out to you and Pi Radio. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Hassan. People call me Hass or Big Hass. I'm a human being that believes in good, authentic art. I host Saudi's first and only FM hip hop radio show.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I got I got into it because it impacted me. I listened to 4 Arab rappers early on. Just want to shout them out real quick. Loki, who is British Iraqi out of the UK, incredible guy. And then you got Narsi, Iraqi Canadian. Omar Effendim, Syrian American, and Shadi Mansour, who's a Palestinian British MC as well. She's just incredible. So I
Wow.
got to know these artists, and then I got into hip hop, and I wanted to do something about it.
Yeah.
And so I launched a blog, and then hence the radio show. But it impacted me. That's the short answer. It impacted me. I fell in love with hip hop, what it stands for. Started studying, and I want to still learn even more because
Yeah.
we're all students of this culture.
I mean, I've seen that you've interviewed legends like LL Cool J, which I was a bit blown away by because I grew up listening to LL Cool J on like Kiss Radio and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool that you've done that.
God bless. I'm so blessed. Yeah, I mean, you're right. LL Cool J, the Chuck D's, Cool Herc. So many incredible names, really, and but I think having to interview the artists that we have in the region has also been a blessing because it's been amazing to even give that platform, and
Yeah.
we want to build that platform and make it all together, and it's just been amazing being on this radio, having you talk to me right now and talk to us fire in the booth. It's just been amazing. So thank you, fam. I really appreciate you.
It's okay. Thank you. So, what would you say the difference is between music in Dubai or just the Middle East in general compared to, some of the leaders, if you want to call it like USA and us here in the UK? Like, what is the difference?
That's a great question. Look, to be honest with you, I think it starts with the infrastructure. Of course, that is a big difference, a huge
Yeah.
difference that there are talents here and there, but the infrastructure, the ecosystem itself, I don't even, to be honest, I don't even like the music here. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it a scene. And I'm not
Yeah.
being harsh. It's more like a community, and it's okay. It's okay to realize that and build it.
Yeah.
So the Middle East generally, it's a tricky part, fam, because you got Middle East and North Africa, and you got Sudan, you got Egypt. So when you talk about specifically hip hop, you go like North Africa is a different beast. These guys are getting 100 million, 200 million streams. They are flying. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And then you got Egypt trying to make some noise right now, and incredible Sudan, and some countries in the Levant area, like Palestine, Iraq, Syria, Jordan. Jordan is doing incredible. Lebanon, and then you got the GCC where I'm at in terms of Dubai.
Yeah.
Uh, what's interesting is UAE has more than 200 plus nationalities, so it's so hard to find a sound. 200 plus nationalities, imagine. And
Yeah.
out of the whole population, you got 12% are actually Emirati, like by obviously nationality, and the rest are expats,
Yeah.
South African, British, American, Indian,
Yeah.
and so on. So people come here to make money and live and have a better life, and it's been amazing. So here is about diversity, and that's the sound that's going to come out of here.
Yeah. See, I listened to Freak. He was on the final episode of Fire in the Booth, and I didn't understand what he was saying, but I could still vibe with the music, and I really appreciate that because as long as it sounds good, then that's all that matters, really.
And we appreciate you for appreciating that. Freak is he's the voice when it comes to, like, I call him, he's the guy who's holding that flag, and he's the dude that we all love and support, of course. And he is doing it because he's being relatable to the people.
Yeah.
And he's pushed himself, and his his work ethic has improved, and I wish him all the best because he is a guy that impacts.
So what was your reaction to Fire in the Booth? Because it's a big deal, isn't it?
Get out, fam. I'm gonna cry right now on my radio. You don't understand. For me, Fire in the Booth. Imagine I'm not an artist or a rapper. I'm just a radio guy, right? Like I'm just
Yeah.
imagine 10 years ago, I'm seeing Charlie Sloth just, do his thing and Fire in the Booth, pressing the buttons, go like,
Yeah.
yeah, Fire, are you ready? And I'm like, this kid, I'm like, wow, what is that? And then, even low key, he was on one of the episodes with Charlie and they shouted me out 10 years ago. Like I can send you the clip. 10 years ago, low key shouted me out. And so blessings to God, 10 years later, I happened to sit down on the same table with Charlie. And I just want to tell you a quick story. So when I first met Charlie, he was sitting next to me and we met with the guys from Nomad and they arranged that. And I'm like, the whole time I'm looking to my life, like, is this real? Like, I'm touching like, it's Charlie Sloth. Oh my God. And it was one of those moments, fam. Fire in the Booth. If you're a rapper and you're in Fire in the Booth, you can put that in your CV. That's how important it is because of the authenticity that the platform has and because of the authenticity that Charlie has. And I learned a lot from this guy. He's authentic. He's real. He's, he's nice, but also when you mess up, he tell you. And I love that. So, you got to improve. We can't be comfortable with each other when it comes to these situations. How are you going to move forward? So Fire in the Booth, fam. And the fact that it came to Arabia, oh my God, I don't know. I could talk all day. You got to stop me, fam, right now. I'm so excited. It's legendary and it's incredible. And by the way, it just opened the door. Like, so what Nomad did with this collaboration was open the door. I want to shout out Fire in the Booth team, Apple Music, of course, and Charlie Sloth for having that platform open for us because we have something to say as well. And it's beautiful.
It really opened up music out there to the UK because a lot of us here didn't know about these artists. So it's great that they're getting this exposure. They're being recognized on different platforms now as well, which is great.
Facts.
So what does it mean for the artists featured? Right? What does Fire in the Booth mean for them?
Great question. I want to answer this as frank and honest as possible. Because obviously it's based in the UK and because it's a vibe.
Yeah.
If you go to the comment section, you're not gonna find all this we call it mujamala in Arabic, all this like, oh, you're good, everybody's good.
Yeah.
I love that criticism. We need to have that. So it means that the rappers, when they see that comments, they can get better. That's one. Two, the fact that they're exposed to someone else other than this region, with all due respect, how do you make the circle bigger? And that's what Fire in the Booth represented and gave them. Third, it's just a game. At the end of the day, hip hop is a game. And when they're all kind of in the same space together, this is where the spirit of the rapper and how you are as a rapper comes through real strong. And you want to prove yourself as a rapper, because that's what hip hop is also you want to prove yourself as a lyricist, as your writer. So I think for me, it gave them that. And fourth, it was a beautiful experience being there, fam. I'll tell you, I was sitting in the backstage and you got the Dubai skyline. And you have
the skyline looked great in the shots.
Man. Yeah, it was crazy that day. And to be honest with you, some rappers, it was very nerve-wracking. And I saw that because obviously people are getting into it. And that was so nice to see, just to see. Maybe people didn't see that in the video, but I saw it and I felt it. I spoke to these artists. I remember Ahmadou Biggie, who is a rapper from the UAE. He's Emirati. I remember calling him a night before and I told him, listen, you're from the UAE. You're going to go in first. And, you got to rep. He's like, oh, man, too much pressure. And I'm like, no, you can do it.
If you're not nervous, I don't think you're doing the job right. You always
I think that's facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
100%. So obviously you've done a lot with your career. You've had your own magazine, first hip hop radio show in Saudi Arabia and only hip hop radio show in Saudi Arabia. You've interviewed big names. You've done a lot. So what would you say is one of your biggest achievements?
Wow. What a question right there. Annisha with the dope questions, right? Okay. That's so okay. I would say giving a platform for the people who have no voice. Like that for me. And again, I'm saying it, and I want to make it even bigger. When I
Yeah.
say a platform, I think this word also goes thrown around. I want to improve my platform. I want to even be even more impactful, more
Yeah.
powerful. Charlie Sloth is a big inspiration to me, but I'm fighting so many things. I'm fighting ideologies. I'm fighting mentalities. You know, the first message that I got in Saudi Arabia was I'm an infidel. Like that's the first message I received. So I'm
Mm.
fighting that. Now it's improving. It's getting much better, but there's so many things. Like I told you, the infrastructure is not there. So we're trying to build it. And
Yeah.
I'm one person, and I can't do it on my own. I'm
Yeah.
just like I need a lot of help. I need business people. I'm so passionate. I know nothing about business. I'll be honest with you. I'm so passionate about music. I just know that this song impacts me, or this artist impacts me, or he's dope, she's dope. That's what's important. So I would say the biggest achievement is continuing for me is the fact that I continued and still continue. I'm celebrating 10 years this June
Wow.
for the show. So I know that Charlie just celebrated 10 years of Fire in the Booth, and our world collided. And I think that's a sign. And I look up to people like Sway. I had an amazing conversation with him. He's also an idol when it comes to radio.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say this is continuing. And out of hip hop, I have a son who's autistic. That's definitely my biggest achievement.
Yeah.
Being his father, he's my hero, you know. And autism is not a disease, and I want to give all my life to just make him better and just give him whatever he deserves. Really, I know I'm
Love that.
getting philosophical right now,
No,
but
I love it. It's so nice to hear. It's really lovely to hear. Um, so in regards to the music scene, well, community, you say, in Dubai, who are the artists we like us here in the UK? Who should we be looking out for? Who's on the come up?
oh, oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble, right? I heard some names dropping.
You
No,
can't
look, I
pick
mean,
favorites. You can't pick
yeah,
favorites.
look, to be honest, that's a great question. I think because there's a lot of it's diverse, right? Like, and
Yeah.
I think this is what makes it like cool, and when it comes to hip hop, there's amazing rappers. I think all the people that fire in the booth, you know them. They're all amazing. To shout out people there's Sizer, who's based in the UAE. Sizer is incredible. He's between the UAE and the UK. He is just mad. Let me tell you about Sizer, because Sizer was one of those guys that when I made Charlie Sloth here off air, he's
Yeah.
like, oh man, because he has this grime thing about him, and he's
Yeah.
young, and so yeah, he's really cool. There is um, there. I want to shout out. Obviously, there is a lack of sometimes I would say female artists in the region. And when I say that in a I'm not saying there aren't not any, but there are, but we need to even give them a push. And I'm
Yeah.
even sad about it to say that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe talking about maybe more Saudi Arabia, because in the UAE you got Shebani. I think she's amazing. She's a singer songwriter. She's doing her thing. She's from Iraq, and she talks about things like incredible things like body positivity, or believing in yourself,
Yeah.
self-love. There is Dina Stars. I think she's also interesting. I'm just trying to be diversifying, not only hip hop and rap.
That's
There's
nice.
even Nia, who's a rapper, a female rapper. She's Lebanese. She's really cool. And also trying to find her sound. I think the thing is about this question is music is subjective, and I'm just trying to tell you that whatever I'm saying right now, you can go and check them out. You can like, you can not like, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
don't be programmed. Don't be programmed of what is coming out from the region. Don't even generally don't be programmed. Just try to dig in and find out.
Yeah.
There's these two guys called Maz Mars and Sido Simba. They're based in Sudan, but one of them is based here. What they're doing is, we all know Burna Boy,
Yeah.
and they're doing Afrofusion, but in Arabic, which is really
Oh, that's
interesting.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I can go on and on, but there's some incredible artists. And Anisha, but we talk a lot about the artists, but also producers have been amazing. Like the guy who produced the ciphers, Rayan Bailuni, he
Yeah.
produced the cipher from scratch. And also Jason Zayn, one of the beats, or a couple of the beats that he rapped on, was from MGZ, who's also a UAE based producer. So for me, all these things, fam, matter, and it's really just amazing to see it. Even Jamie DeVille, he's a singer from Australia. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to Jamie DeVille, amazing singer, getting a lot of amazing push on Spotify, and getting his fan base bigger on the Spotify. So It has been amazing. But one name, if you tell me one name out of the UAE, who would it be? It's the following name: Abri, Abri. That's
Okay.
the guy that I would push. Like if someone would ask me right now, name one artist only in the UAE,
Mm,
Abri. He's the
okay.
soul, funk, jazz. He is that guy. For me, Abri.
Love that. Love that.
Sorry, that
I
was a
also
long answer.
no, it's all right. I love the fact that the cipher was completely homegrown, like you were saying, with the beats, everything like that. We love to see it. We love to
Oh
see it.
yeah, blessings. And again, shout out to Charlie Sloth and his team, Fire in the Booth, for
Yeah.
giving us that platform. Because when they heard, like, when we suggested, when Nomad suggested we're gonna make a beat from scratch, the whole thing, by the way, happened in a couple of days. Like, I
Yeah,
saw your
P Storm
interview,
mentioned that he
and shout out
literally
to
got
you,
a
shout out to
call.
P, and
Yeah.
he's right. It was like, yo, hey, fire. He's like, fire in the what? When do you want to write? Oh, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, what do we, And it was like that. So the beat was done in 7 hours. The whole thing was done real quick, and but they pulled it through, fam. And again,
Yeah.
it showed how hungry they are. And for me, like I said, it's a game. At the end of the day, hip hop is a game, and you have to be ready at all point. You got to be ready. And the cipher, by the way, doesn't really, it represents the UAE, but also it's Fire in the Booth is a show. Like, there's going to
Yeah.
be other episodes, there's going to be other rappers, other opportunities for people to
Yeah.
shine. And I know Charlie is sticking around. We took him a little bit from the UK. Sorry, you guys. He's here with us right
He's
now.
been spending too much time out there.
Yeah, shout out to Charlie. But and he's gonna definitely do another one where, even more UAE based and even Arab based. I heard it's gonna happen. So that's fantastic.
Is that a little exclusive there? Is that a little bit
Mm. Well, it's one of those exclusive that you wish to happen. So yeah, maybe let's make that.
Fingers crossed
Yeah,
then, fingers
yeah,
crossed.
yeah, for sure.
So who's one of your favorite artists here in the UK?
Oh man, you're asking great questions. Um, Look, for me, it's Loki. I know people are gonna say, "That's old, man." I'm like, for me, it's Loki, Akala. These guys shaped who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I love Stormzy. It's my dream to meet him. Just shake his hand. Just tell him I exist. I played your music in Saudi Arabia, UAE, and everywhere I go, my brother. He's such a great guy. So Georgia Smith, what can I say? I'm like, man,
I
oh man.
know.
Whoo, you
Yeah.
guys. But see, that's a very good thing that if I may talk about it. When I first heard of Georgia Smith, it was like around 4 years ago, I would say 4 years ago for me, or four
Yeah.
years and a half ago even. And you guys in the UK were calling her a homegrown talent. But then you go check out her Instagram, she got like 1 million followers. Like, whoa. See,
Yeah.
that's the infrastructure I'm talking about. Ain't no homegrown talent in the UAE that has 1 million followers and has that impact already. So that's what I'm talking about, that the infrastructure you guys support. You have like radio stations that play the music, and there's that
Yeah.
ecosystem that pushes that. So for
Yeah.
me, Georgia Smith was amazing. And long story short, Shaybani, who I talked about before, went to school to study music in the UK. I forgot which school was it. Was it BIM? I'm sorry if I missed out, but yeah, it's a school, music
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
So she did 1 year, and she saw Georgia Smith, and she was like so close to Georgia Smith. It was crazy. One of those intimate shows. Kind of 7 months, 8 months later, we kind of arranged the show in the UAE, and I was emceeing that show, and Georgia Smith came to perform.
Oh wow.
And who opened for Georgia Smith? Shibani. And
That's amazing.
that was an amazing circle.
Full circle, yeah.
And I know that means a lot to her, because the show was really cool. Of course, a lot of people came to see Georgia, but it was so nice to get Shaybani exposed to those people. And that's what I need from the music scene here, or the
100%.
community. When you get an artist from outside, you get their fans. Make sure you put a local artist before them. And that's not crazy to ask for. I think that's a duty.
So. Yeah.
So, you guys do that so well in the UK. You build those platforms, and shout out to what you guys were able to accomplish, because we get inspired by you.
So what's next for you? Are you working on any other big projects?
Thank you so much for asking that question. Yes. So I recently, last year, with the COVID situation, I found myself getting into releasing music. Now, again, I'm not a producer or a DJ. It's like at a DJ Khaled style, call it. Like getting rapper A, rapper B, get the beat, get the artwork, upload it, put it on streaming. Let's go. So I've released 4 tracks already, and I'm releasing 4 other tracks this year. And it's so cool the way I want to bridge cultures, even between us as Arabs, North Africa, the Middle East, and putting it together. And I want to kind of build a name for myself as releasing music and hopefully hits and people that can vibe to. So not really taking care of taking too much attention on the hits. I want to just make things happen. So far I got four records, and it's a blessing to release records and just, just kind of introduce artists together and challenge them. So one of the records I released was called Harib, and it features 2 Saudi rappers, and those 2 Saudi rappers are so in their new school trap, vibe. So what I did was like, I'm gonna give them an old school beat, done by Big Mo, very boom bappy, very like that, and challenge them, and they killed it. They did so well. And then I got my friend DJ Lethal Skills out of Malaysia and Lebanon to scratch on it. So it was introducing scratching to people in Saudi Arabia. Just say, hey, it exists. There's something called scratching. It's really cool. And it's stuff like that.
Love that. So my final question, what advice would you give to someone wanting to get into the music industry?
You want the honesty?
Honesty. 100% honesty.
Brutal honesty on Pi Radio right here. Be yourself. Don't care about nobody. Like, seriously. When I say don't care about look at my face right now. Don't care about nobody. Nobody's opinion should validate the fact that you're doing music. Don't care about that. Even my opinion, put it in the trash, right? Seriously, I'm serious right now. That's the best advice I can give, because I'm not a record producer. I don't know technically how it's done. What I know for sure is that don't give them attention don't give it. Be you, be yourself, rock it. And if you believe in it, you'll make it. Now, in the beginning, not a lot of people might, but that's not the problem. The problem is when people get affected by, oh, he's not sharing, oh, she's not sharing, they didn't vibe. None of that. Don't have none of that. Be you, try to be relatable, try to represent your culture. All these things, of course, for me are important. But the most important thing is show me how hungry you are. Like, show me. Like, we don't owe anything. I'll be honest. We're on the radio right now, right? We don't owe anyone anything. You got to take it. You got to earn it and take that. And believe me, I wasn't like that 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I evolved and I became that guy because I saw so many things. I'm sorry, I'm blabbing right now.
No, it's fine.
Enjoying the conversation with you, Annisha. And, it's all love. Shout out to you, fam. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to shed light on the region, shed light on me, shed light on some of the rappers. And, God bless you. Big love and respect to Pi Radio and the people out in the UK.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here today, Pi Radio. It's been real. It's been good. Nice little chat. So thank you very much for that.
Peace out.